Cadillac's been a little bit slow to jump on that crossover bandwagon. After all we've had so far has been the midsize XT5 crossover as well as the full-size flagship Cadillac Escalade. But now for 2019, they're giving us this, the XT4. So I've come out here to beautiful Seattle, Washington. So let's get on in, do a first drive, and see how she do. So it can be tough to make a compact crossover, well, kind of sexy, right? But the designers at Cadillac have done a really good job, and a lot of that is done through lighting. So the daytime running lights in the front, that design really fits in with the rest of the design language on the Cadillac lineup, but they've got their own little twist. So there really is no mistaking the fact that that is an XT4 out on the road. In the back, at least on this sport model, the LED lightings are housed in a clear lens, so you can see the inner workings of the light, and it's really cool. Plus, there's some nods to other Cadillac models. So on the hood, you might see a little bit of the CTSV, and out back, there's a little bit of the now defunct, but still super cool CTS wagon. So the larger Cadillac crossover, the XT5, has got a 3.6 liter engine. Not in this guy. Here we are rocking a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, good for 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. And that is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, along with that 9-speed transmission, there's also active fuel management that can turn off 2 cylinders when it's not needed. So those two things combined help this car get an EPA fuel rating of 30 miles per gallon out on the highway. So the car that I'm in here does have the optional all-wheel drive, but if I put it in touring mode, then it defaults to front-wheel drive all the time. If I want to put it into all-wheel drive, I got to switch it up to sport mode. And in sport mode, I also get active damping, which adjusts the shock absorbers up to 500 times per second. So it's really good at kind of evening out any kind of uneven pavement that you might have. And what's really great about the way the XT4 drives is that it has this nice flat torque curve. It will go up to a peak torque at 1500 RPM and then stay super flat all the way to 4000 RPM, which is really what you want in city driving. So when I just put my foot on the gas, this car does leap forward, which is really nice. The transmission shifts down quickly, and when I'm just toddling around with a 9-speed transmission, it gives me these really imperceptible shifts that I really like. This power plant on this is very, very well matched. I don't really like the engine noise. It's kind of drony and whiny, but the way it all works together is pretty good. For those of you who have been a little wary of the Q infotainment system, don't worry, all that haptic feedback stuff is gone. Instead, you've got a new 8-inch high-definition screen, and you can control it either by touch or by a new rotary dial in the center console. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are both standard, as is Amazon in-key car delivery service. So hey, you can get your Amazon Prime purchases delivered right to your trunk. How cool is that? You don't even need to be there. Inside in the XT4, you're going to find a lot of premium materials, and I kind of like the way the ergonomics is of this car inside. I feel like I'm sitting down in the car. The center console is really high, the dash is raked back, so I feel like the car's kind of wearing me, which I really like. So Cadillac's done something a little bit different with its trim levels. Down here is the base luxury, starts at about $35,000, and then up above is premium luxury and sport. They're two different trims, but they start at the same price, around 40 grand. But this guy here, it's the sport. It's also got $2,500 for the all-wheel drive, a $1,200 paint job, $8,000 worth of packages, and $4,000 worth of options, putting its total price at about $56,000 with a $995 destination and delivery charge. Now this guy I've only had out on the road for a few hours, so I really want to get it into Roadshow HQ so I can give you a full review. But first impressions are very positive.